This morning at about 10:45 a.m., our deputies were dispatched to the area right here behind me, which is the north side of the Woodlands Mall, just out of J.C. Penney's. The dispatch was involving a robbery that had just occurred. We did have a deputy that was in very close proximity to the area, arrived in about 1 minute after the dispatch. Witnesses on the scene were able to give that deputy a good description of the suspect. Also was able to point to the direction that the suspect had ran. That deputy was able to refer that information to the dispatch and to the surrounding law enforcement officers. The suspect was found about 200 yards from here in a northeasterly direction, laying in some high weeds near the Interstate 45 and the overpass. The suspect, in this case, what we know at this point, had approached a young lady who was born in 1986. As she arrived at the mall, she's a customer, she's not an employee here. As she was getting out of her car, he rushed her, attempted to steal her car. She did struggle with him, and at some point during the struggle, she was shot in the upper leg. There were, again, several witnesses in the area that has aided law enforcement and has been able to give or identify the suspect once he was arrested and positively identify him. The young lady was taken to a nearby hospital, and she is in good condition. It's my understanding that investigators are there now speaking with her. We do have investigators in crime scene on location here, of course speaking with witnesses, looking at the car, and at this point a weapon has not been found, and that search is still underway. The suspect at this point has refused to talk to law enforcement officers and has to give us his name. With that, that's where we stand at this point in the investigation, and it's still very early, and I'm sure additional facts could come out as the day progresses.
So do you know who he is despite him not giving his name?
No, at this point, the suspect has not been identified. However, he is in custody, and he's being taken to the Montgomery County Jail.
Can you describe
Who's the victim?
The victim is a young female born in 1986. I'm sorry, I'm not releasing the name right now. I'm not real sure that family has been notified. I know that there's somebody here on scene that knows her, but I'm not sure about being a family.
Is she a Woodlands resident?
She is a resident of the Spring area, not from the Woodlands itself, but from the Spring area.
Who was the first to respond? Was it a horseback security or was it a deputy?
It was a deputy in a car. He was very close to the area and again arrived in approximately 1 minute after the initial dispatch that was received by all the deputies.
There were reports that she fought back. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, she did struggle with him, and at some point during the struggle she was shot in the leg. According to her, as we understand it right now, he had wanted to steal her car, and somewhere in there the struggle ensued.
You know what she was doing in the car?
She was getting out of the car.
Was getting out of the car.
Yes.
Her boyfriend told one of our guys that she was filling out some sort of application.
Well,
you got different information.
Again, the information that I have at this time is she was getting out of the car, and as she was getting out, she was rushed by the suspect, and again with the intent of stealing the car, and she struggled.
How typical
what about
is that?
you said no weapon yet?
No weapon has been found. However, the area that the suspect was arrested has very high grass, decorative fern. I'm not sure what you would call it. So it could very easily be in that area. We have had deputies walking through the areas on the path that we know he took as he fled from here. And at this point, a weapon has not been found.
Is that the reason Mike's dog is out here? Attempt to find the weapon
We
also?
do have the assistance of the Constables Precinct 2 here with a canine who's trained to sniff for weapons and that type of thing.
Kind of atypical sort of crime for here, right?
Well, you know, this type of crime can occur anywhere. It so happens that it did occur here today. We're very fortunate that the victim was not hurt badly, and we're very fortunate that law enforcement was here quickly and has been able to apprehend him.
Can you talk about the security presence here at the mall typically?
Well, the mall has its own security department. I'm not real versed in that, so I can't give you much detail. There is also the horseback that is a presence here. To my knowledge, the mall security nor the horses were in the area at the time this crime occurred.